because he hadn't told him to do it yet.
He's in charge.
We always
I think we've got everybody.
I know you were
Yeah.
kind of mad that one.
And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Todd, a friend of some of you here, Jill and Randy and Christina. And, first, I would just like to kind of go over some things. As you could all tell, they've been doing a lot of work in the house. Yeah. Bathroom is still off limits.
Please, as I learned yesterday, it's not plumbed when I was under the house, so it's not going anywhere.
So Jill's been kind enough. Oh, Jill, it's the bathroom right off the front.
Yeah,
deck,
just
correct?
go to the far door there, not the slider, the next one, and just go into the bathrooms right there on the left.
Yeah, so she's been gracious enough to allow us to use that. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to just have a time of, friends and family sharing a little bit, and what a great day to be out here. But I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to come, because I know Wayne meant an awful lot to some of you, and in some of you it was different aspects of his life, whether it was from the ski hill or sailing or fishing. Everybody knew him sometimes as uncle, others as a friend, and some as somebody to look up to, part of the family. But with that, I can't think of any better thing than to be here at what I was told was his beloved lake cottage on a great summer day. This is awesome. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of open up some time of sharing. We actually have Mike and Mitchell and Deborah. You guys made it from Kentucky. Mitchell made it from
New York.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to give everybody an opportunity to share. But I'd like to maybe start off maybe with Mitchell. Would you be okay
Sure,
with
we'll
doing
go
that?
ahead and start off. Yeah, you want me from here or get up there?
I
or?
say wherever you feel comfortable. Do you want it up front?
Wherever comfortable, yep.
If you're
Well, we need to
comfortable.
be on the.
Oh my
we're
God.
Okay, I'll get-
filming
I'll
it
get
for your
from
dad.
How are you?
Oh.
Good,
We're filming
thinking.
it. They wanted to.
All right, so on behalf of Wayne's family, my brother Mike and I, we want to thank you for coming today in this beautiful day to Wayne's beloved cottage. James Wayne Gaines was born in Versailles, Kentucky, to Woodrow Wilson Gaines and Frances Gaines McAuliffe. He is survived by his older brother Woodrow, my dad, and my mom Lois. Also surviving are two nephews, Mike and his wife Deborah. Also, Wayne is my middle name, for those of you who did not know.
Did not know that.
I did not know.
There's also two nieces who could not be here today, but in their hearts are here with us today. Krista Galitzis, a doctor up in Washington State, and Janine Burrows down in Alabama. Wayne graduated from Dearborn High School and Western Michigan University. I always enjoyed talking to him about Western Michigan football. He just enjoyed watching their games whenever they're on TV, particularly now when the technology has improved so much. And he went into the Army, so we thank him for his service. And he began, after getting out of the Army, began a 40-year career industry in the insurance agency. When he retired, he moved from St. Louis, where he was working, back to his hometown of Versailles, Kentucky. And he died there in October. In the early 60s, Wayne bought a hunting shack on Deer Lake. It's where we are today. And his stepfather, Gene McAuliffe, and his many friends, including Charlie Calcaterra and Lou Christ, also want to take a second to send our thoughts and well wishes and prayers to Lou Christ. He's going through some tough times. And they transformed it into the cottage that it became. Today, Charlie's son Randy and his family have begun another transformation of the cottage. Our family has many fond memories of time here on the lake. Includes going to Betty's for breakfast, walking around Deer Lake, and always looking for the summers here, in the months leading to Wayne coming up here every summer, that's all he could talk about, was coming up here and spending the summers up here in Michigan. So, brought him here today. We had a little ceremony out on the pontoon boat, and his ashes have been spread in the lake. And want to thank everybody for coming out here today. And we send tribute to Wayne.
Fishing will be good today.
Fishing will be good today. Yes.
And do you have a story you want to tell, Mitchell?
Yes, I was thinking about him the other day, and I'm in a beautiful spot in New York, and I like to hike as well. So I was thinking, what if I could ask him where the best spot to walk around here is. So even yesterday, and I was still thinking about him, and we'll always remember him.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very good.
When did he go down to St. Louis? When did they transfer?
He moved into winter of 2003, early 2003.
He moved
Back
to
to
Versailles.
Back to Versailles.
So
Yep.
I'm telling you, when did he go to St. Louis?
He was in Minneapolis, I believe,
Yeah.
before going to St.
Yeah.
Louis.
Yeah, he liked it there.
Left
Do
here.
you know when he
Left
moved
here.
from Minneapolis to St. Louis,
No, I
Mike?
don't.
No, I was thinking when he left here is what I'm trying to remember. I know he was here in '69. For sure, I can prove it. That's something, Randy, I want to talk to you about. I have some 8mm movies that Wayne's in.
Cool.
My remembrance of Wayne, of course, came through our involvement with the ski club. Basically, it started with the baseball team. That's where I met your dad. I was introduced to it through another fellow. You maybe remember Marv Schussberger. You remember, of course. We were a ski club. We were the Sitzmarker Ski Club, a very small club in Detroit. And Marv worked at Chrysler and worked with some fellows that were active at Chrysler Ski Club. And they were looking for ball players, so myself, another fellow, Jim Epic, I don't know if you remember Jim, joined the Chrysler Ski Club. And the next year, Charlie joined that same team. I played next to him in the outfield for 16 years. Wayne played for just a short time. I would say 3 or 4 years. He was on the team. But getting to know these guys, we started skiing with them, of course, and up here. And this became headquarters. But there was a lot of years before that where there was a different bunch of dwellings that were used. I remember you had a house along Boyne City Road or whatever that is. Well, you rented a house or had half of a house. Or remember that? Were you involved with that?
No.
I know Marv and Wayne were.
Well, that was before I knew that.
Oh yes.
That was before I met
Yes.
Wayne, too.
I can skiing with Wayne. Wayne was never the aggressive racing type skier that the other fellows were. You were never really an aggressive racer either.
No.
You more enjoyed doing it and the sociability of it and all that. And so
Besides that, it wasn't any good.
well, your tall buddy was one of the best in the state. Skiing with Wayne, I'm going to ask you to check me on a date. 1975, we were in Aspen with the whole gang. Do you recall that? Is that the right date?
Is that the story I was going to tell?
Well, I've got part of it. Well, I'm sure you'll have parts of your story that aren't part of mine. We started skiing out west with Charlie and Carol in 1970.
How do you remember?
Well, things that are important to you in your life, you remember when they happen.
Oh, really?
When were you married?
70.
That's the year you were married. We went out with, you're going to have to help me, Patty and John.
Oh, Patty and what's that guy? Oh, yeah, right.
That was the first time we'd ever skied in the mountains. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
was very important. Charlie and Carol took us out there and showed us
Yeah.
Sun Valley.
Oh,
But
yeah, and what's his name was there? Remember,
Hey, it's not your
Gordy?
turn for the story.
Yeah.
This is not
Sorry.
your turn for the story.
I want to go back to 1975 when we were skiing with the ski club gang. You guys were there. The Thompsons were there. I know Wayne was there. I'm trying to think of who else was there at that time. Well, Charlie and Carol, I know that because we went out there with them. And well, the story, Wayne picked us up at the airport. He, for whatever reason or another, he had to be in Denver before we got there. Oh yeah, I'll guarantee you.
This is different than, I heard this one and I don't remember it either.
Well, he picked us up at the airport, and he picked us up in the little rental car that he had rented and driving in Denver, and it was a.
Small little thing.
It wasn't a real small thing, but it was a very inexpensive car.
Yes.
Was it?
I was
All right.
actually going to guess that it was the cheapest one there.
It wasn't very big. We had a hell of a time getting all 5 of us in it.
And the luggage.
The luggage for skiing for a week and the skis on top. And anyway, we started up the mountains and we got just short of Eisenhower and the car couldn't make it. It was running so poorly in the mountain. Charlie and I both got out of the car and were run next to the car. So we got the car
Right in
up
the
to the
road?
grade so we could go through the Eisenhower tunnel.
Oh.
Charlie had a lot to say to Wayne about the selection about cars. There's a whole gang of them that I was kind of thinking of, but I got to put them in some kind of order. The same trip, we were skiing Ajax, Aspen. You know what it is. You'd understand it. She knows that the story I'm going to tell. We were skiing Bell Mountain. Randy, I don't know. Do you know Ajax? Do you know Bell Mountain? Anyway, okay. This is a
Tough one.
yeah. It was a side of a mountain coming down, and it was all treed. It was all aspen tree. We skied in the trees in those days. Tough skiing, hard skiing. No hookups. We didn't even have brakes on our skis. Think about it.
Oh yeah, those long songs.
Yeah, we didn't have brakes. We just had a strap that wrapped around your wrist. Well, we were skiing the side of Bell, and pretty tough skiing. And we all gathered at the chairlift that was at the bottom, and Wayne wasn't there. Well, wasn't he with next to you? Oh, yeah, well, we started out together, and then you break off, and you come down through it. Well, where's Wayne? I went, oh. We got on the chairlift, all the way back to the top, and we started looking for Wayne. We figured, well, he wrapped around a tree or something, you know. We cut down the side of Bell, spread apart looking for him. No Wayne. Go back to the top, go down the back of Bell, on the other side of the mountain, because this is a big, we're skiing, I mean, this is hard skiing, and we're getting, nervous. No Wayne. So finally, this is getting the end of the day, so we go one more time.
He's at the bar.
You know him.
Does he know him or what?
We skied the face of Bell, which is even tougher. Skied down the face of Bell, skied through Spar Gulch, down through Little Nell, and sitting down at the bar at Little Nell, guess who's sitting on the porch? I think Charlie was going to kill him then. We worked so hard because we just felt that he was in trouble on that mountain.
When you can't find something.
Because when you're up in the woods like that, and you can go down, wrap around a tree between moguls, nobody'd see you.
Mm-hmm. He didn't want to go down.
And Mike knew the close to that story before that.
There had to be a
Well,
pretty
you know
girl
what?
We
at
must
the
be talking
bar.
about the same guy, obviously.
A pretty girl at the bar. He's done.
You got it, that's right.
Had he gone in after the first run?
He didn't. Yeah.
He just went, finished that
he-
one run.
He
and
didn't
was
even
done?
come down that side.
No, he went to
He went
easy.
straight to the
Oh.
bar.
He turned. You kind of ski down a crest and then you fold off of each side.
Yeah.
Well, he stayed in the crest and he turned off and he went back down the easy way around, basically. He just decided he didn't want to ski that hard stuff. Well, you don't, you know. When you're skiing in a group, you
let them know.
you're in a group, and it's part of the group. That's why you're in a group, because it's safer and all that. Oh God, yes, God love him.
All right, Mom, is it your turn now?
Another Wayne story
Well, that's why.
about luggage.
Yeah.
When, I don't know who knows Wayne was engaged once.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a party
What
at
was
your
her name?
We
Yes,
had
I
a
know.
party
What was her name?
at Bob's house, Bob and Carol.
What was her
Brewis.
name? I can't remember.
So
Kathy?
he
Was it
did all
Kathy?
these
Think
gifts
so.
going and all that, but we got him matched luggage.
Mhm.
It was 3 laundry baskets because that's how he traveled.
Yeah.
Only put stuff in the laundry basket. I never saw him with a luggage, ever. He always used laundry baskets. So that's what we gave him.
The other thing is that on at the same party that was at our house that we had a party for.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I had just
that's
redone
right.
my kitchen. That, you know, we worked at the cabinets. Well, Wayne's in there looking through the cabinets.
For glass.
Well, there's one section that was glass, but he was opening
No,
doors.
for a glass to drink out of.
Oh,
That's
no,
what his excuse was.
no, he wasn't wanted to see.
Oh,
what
he
it was
wasn't?
involving
Oh,
me.
okay.
What he told me. Well, my wife just, what are you doing looking in my cupboards? Because he was in and out, you know. Well, I just wanted to see how it made because she just raised him, just raised the living hell.
Yeah,
you
she
know,
did
met
not
an L
like
in it.
that.
Buying through her cupboards, her new cupboards. You know.
Yeah, she did not like that. Ooh,
Yeah, that was a Wayneism. The other one,
A Wayneism, huh?
I can't tell you exactly where it was. We were sitting around having something to eat. A gang of us, about 5 of us, 5 or 6 guys, and we all got our check.
No, they haven't. No, that's the story I was going to tell.
Oh,
but
yeah, well,
I think
okay.
I got the whole.
Okay,
Yeah.
you go ahead.
But you were there. You and Drew were there. I think of that same trip.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
And Nancy and I and Wayne and
Well, I know what you're going to say. Yeah,
Andy
mine's
and
different.
Lena.
Go ahead.
They live in
Oh,
Snowmass,
yeah, yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah.
So after skiing, we said we'll go down to Glenwood Springs, which is 20 miles from Aspen, and there's hot springs.
Yeah.
So we all went down there and we went swimming and we went to a restaurant for dinner. And we had a bunch of drinks to begin with.
Yeah.
And then we had dinner.
We
and
got a head start.
there's probably 10 of us at least. So we got the bill.
Yeah.
So we give the
Yeah.
Wayne's the number man, right? So we give him the bill and we says, Wayne, figure it out. Let us know how much we owe. So he figures it all out. Tells us, you know, we all throw the money in. We start to walk out, and the waitress comes up and she said, "Did you really want me to leave like a 50% tip?"
Oh, it was over $100 tip.
And that was way back when.
doesn't
It was
sound-
a
it doesn't-
bunch. So
That's a lot of
we
money.
thanked her, and we came back and we drank the tip up.
I bear witness to that story. Yeah,
Well, he must have
Our
changed a
accountant.
lot because.
Well, it was our money.
it was our money.
Oh,
Everybody, how much they owed.
yeah.
So that's why he tipped.
That's what they say.
different story when it's somebody
Mathematics
else.
wasn't very good, that's all. He's good at insurance, but not at numbers.
Mike was just telling us that was not the same later in his years.
No. The last couple times I've brought him up here, the last couple years, when we go out and have dinner every evening, just about, I would have to hang behind, and I'd already have a couple 5s or a 10 ready to throw on the table, because he wasn't tipping, maybe $2.
Oh, really?
If the bill was 30 or 40, it didn't matter. It's $2. and I felt bad, and he couldn't. I would never let him see me do it because he wouldn't let it
Well, he
happen.
didn't change as he got older. He was always like that.
All right, so mine, I could think of 100 million of the wicked sharp, laser, sarcastic wit, but I think I went with two stories that I think were Charlie's favorite to tell. And we'll come back to the laser wit after, I believe. So it got to a point with the sailboat trip where I started getting about Pete's age now, probably 18, 19, 20, and the wife started dropping off, and it turned into nothing but a men's trip. And when it turned into a men's trip, for whatever reason, I didn't understand this when I was his age, but I think I understand it a little bit more now. Clothes became very optional. It was like very much like if you had a bathing suit on, it was like a disappointment if there was other people around. Like, I don't know, they just liked being... It wasn't the best visual, but so the Jack and Nick would pick, and Charlie would pick places to go where there wasn't people. We would go and we would make these day stops, even on islands where you couldn't spend the night, but we just kind of spend the afternoon or whatever. And so we're at one of these, and of course there's no one within 2 miles. And Wayne always would get out the fishing pole, and I never remember, because I can see my dad telling the story, and I can even see him, like as it was developing, you could see him starting to motion to Nick. He's like my dad, not fishing, whatever. He's laying on the rocks, just kind of enjoying his drink or whatever, watching this action. And there's Wayne with his bandana tied around with the cigar, of course, and he's got his ratty shorts on, and he's casting. And he'd make 2 casts, and he'd get snagged, and you'd see him do this, and the pull would be like that. He'd take his hands off, and he'd walk the line in all the way down, and he'd pick the lure out, and he'd go all the way back, and then he'd start the casting again. And 2 casts,
Same thing
take the
again.
pants down, and this went on for 3 or 4 times, and I could see my dad watching this and making that motion to like Jack and Nick, like, hey, you gotta watch this, because it's gonna happen. And it just again and again and again, and then it became, I can tell my dad what I can see him telling that story. And then the other one that I can see her and him telling too, was sometime way before my time, probably before you even guys were married. One of the, you said it was the headquarters for all the action here. And they come up on a Friday night and get here at 1 or 2 in the morning, and of course it took forever to warm the furnace up and stuff. And he realizes that he forgets his toothbrush. And I think this was one of the first memories I've ever had here. And I'm not even around, and I heard this story just so many times. So they're half boiled anyway, because they've been drinking so much, of course, which is a theme that we've already heard. Yeah. So he realizes he forgets his toothbrush, and it's Friday night, and it's 2 in the morning or something. So someone comes up with the idea, well, why don't you take one that's in the bathroom and sanitize it by boiling it? So he puts the toothbrush in the thing, and they forget about it because they're drinking for another hour or something. And then the story goes something like when another hour goes by, hey, what about the toothbrush? And he goes and picks the thing out, and it just looked like a shriveled nothing. And,
It got huge.
oh, it got
It
big.
got huge.
Honest to God, I have never laughed so hard in my life. I never laughed so hard.
Good
He
question.
pulled that thing up.
It was huge.
Think about that.
Yes, I thought it was, yeah.
No,
so that,
it was big. Oh my God.
which I'm sure he had the look on his face that time, and hopefully now he can smile at this one, because I don't know if it was the same expression that he had with the toothbrush thing, but this one he didn't laugh about. Hopefully he can laugh about it now. But another fishing story, we were in Fraser Bay, and he's getting all the stuff, and he's putting it all in the dinghy because he's going to go fishing. We just docked, and we got everything there, and he's going through all the rigmarole, put all the tackle box and all that. And I remember we all watched this one. I saw it clear as day. He steps off the boat into the dinghy, and just like it was scripted, it just flipped up over, and all that was sticking out was the outboard motor, and we were cracking up. He did not crack up very much at all. Hopefully he can laugh about that one, but that's another story. So back to the wicked wit, and this is the last thing I will say, is when we were going through stuff here, my boys started really finding things that could tell his wit and his humor, and the stupid little Wayneism with the rock that says thanks, turn me over, and the post-it note on the fish that said it was caught out here with a, you know, cane pole and all that kind of thing will always be part of the width.
I used to like to come up here the first time in the winter time and find a refrigerator.
Oh, God. Oh, my
He
God.
didn't change in
Deliver
with his
me
years.
from that. Charlie banned me until he got in there and cleaned it out. Wayne would leave food
Pickles.
in there.
Pickles. There's always pickles, wasn't it, Jack?
Oh, lettuce, everything.
Closed the door and left everything in there.
You open the refrigerator and find 2-week-old lettuce. Oh, it's disgusting. So he wouldn't even let me go in until he went and cleaned it out. No, he never cleaned out the refrigerator. Oh, that was tough.
He had a drawer in his kitchen that must have had 100 packets of ketchup.
Ketchup and mustard.
Because I just always got him and put him in the drawer. And it's like, does anybody want any ketchup? He's got it all.
I don't know if I never noticed if he ate the ketchup like on fries and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I never noticed that.
But he wanted all they'd give him.
Yeah.
He wanted it all.
Well, you're still very generous.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Using this place.
And that's why my family's here.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard for me. I mean, that's why my family is where they are.
He'd invite me with my family. I'd bring my kids over one weekend a year after they got big enough. We skied every weekend over. I got a place on the other side of the state. We'd be there every weekend. So one weekend a year. Got some scheduled up here. Take them on over. Bring the kids over, and my kids got to ski with you guys. Well, you got to. Just a little one. Not really. They were 10, 12, preteens and teenagers. Wayne was always generous about having us. Besides the guys, I was always available if there was a bed that was available.
You know, it was nice
It was always Carol and I. We were unique into the fact we were into the ski club scene as a couple. We came in as a couple, where most people who came in singles and became couples. You guys are examples. Yes, I know.
I was just reflecting last night, actually, after we had dinner with these guys. A part of our discussion was dogs, and I didn't get to know Wayne till later, but so much of his life was his dogs, and he always had one. And I come from a place where people are very, sometimes they're almost too attentive to their dogs, and you gotta train them, and you gotta do this, and you gotta. And Wayne had these dogs that had the greatest disposition, that were on like autopilot. We were talking at dinner about some of Wayne's characteristics, and I thought, you know what? Those dogs, they were always very quiet, very mellow. They liked to just putz around here, just putz and move.
Ask the sheriff.
But sometimes they did not like to be told what to do. And from what you said, that was one of Wayne's characteristics too. But it just kind of the irony struck me as he
Mirrors.
Yeah, just had these dogs that had the gentlest disposition and just calm, wonderful, wonderful creatures.
Always a lab, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, always a lab. Well, I tell you, his last days on this earth, he was still in charge. I got to tell you, when hospice was in, and we were all sitting around, and she was asking him questions, but actually asking us questions, because if we started answering and it wasn't the way he wanted it answered, he'd say, "Stop it! I'm in charge. She's asking me the question." And we had to, from that point on, you had to raise your hand and ask permission to talk. And he laying in a hospital bed, and he'll go, you know, if you ask permission, he'll point, and then you can speak. But he made for sure that he knew the hospice lady knew that he was still in charge, and she went right with it. Okay, Mr. Gaines, okay.
We were just talking when we were out on the boat. How long you've been here? And I was thinking both places were up for sale at the same time, if I remember right. And I think it was 1967 maybe.
I think
And
67, 68.
right around in there. Yeah, so we hadn't been there. He might have, no, I think they're both up for sale when we came here because Charlie brought us, Mom and Dad, over here and showed us both these places.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it was 1967.
Yeah.
I remember his mom. Yeah. And, you know, he's a very good neighbor. Good to my mom.
Oh,
Really good-
yeah,
Really
he
good to my
liked
mom.
her.
Never forgot her birthday. Always, there was a card in the mail, or he'd stick it in the mailbox, or he'd send one in the mail. You know, always checking up on her. He was the one that found her when she fell and broke her femur and lay in the house for 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, so he was good. You know, I used to come over here and, you know, we'd sit and talk. And then when he wasn't able to get up and go out, you know, I made sure I came over more. But good guy, you know, loved it here. Good guy. Sit out here with a cigar, book in his hand all afternoon, you know, just.
In a Manhattan.
Yeah, yep.
He was always going to stay long enough to see the fall colors, and he never did. He never made it that far.
Last year going home we did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you see him across the road here?
No, well, maybe a little hint of it.
Yeah, when they turn, oh my
Oh, it's
God,
absolutely
it's
gorgeous.
fabulous. And he was always going to do that, but and then it'd get a cold spell and off he'd go.
Yeah.
Can the family
Good
tell
guy.
me, I used to hear a story that when Wayne moved to Minneapolis, he was supposedly the youngest manager. And when he left the company, he was the oldest.
You ever did that?
No.
No, I never heard that either. How'd you know that?
I don't know.
I didn't hear that.
I don't
You
know.
made it
Probably
up?
told you.
Well, Lois told us when he retired is because he got a female boss, and we said, well, yeah, that sounds like
Yeah.
Wayne. That immediately sounds like that he got a female boss.
He was
and said,
financially
"I'm
set,
done."
and they weren't getting along, and they cut him a package, and he took it.
Well, how did him and Charlie meet?
I think
Downtown,
through
downstate.
Nick in the Army,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I couldn't remember the story.
That's how
I'm
Charlie
not
and
positive.
Nick met that way.
Yeah, I don't think I.
Who and Nick met that way?
Charlie and Nick met when
Yeah.
they're both in the Missouri.
Yeah.
Well, then how did he meet Wayne? At the baseball?
No,
I don't know.
Wayne was part of GM.
Wayne never played handball, right?
No.
But we all
He only played baseball just 2 or 3 years.
yeah, and went to the bars after.
Oh yeah,
that.
he was always at
That's-
the game.
That,
Oh, yeah.
That was the
Well, that
big
was what
thing.
was
I
fun about
remember
all
that
that.
part.
I mean, you know, you'd have 10 or 12 players, but you'd have 40 rooters.
Right.
And you always end up at the bar
Right.
afterwards, both teams.
Yeah.
It was all ski clubs. There
I
was a
don't
ski
know
club league.
then.
So everybody
I
was the same
really
age,
don't
doing the
know
same
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Wayne
I
and
couldn't
Take
remember.
over
Mom
Babs
knew.
Bar. Remember
But I
Babs
can't
Bar?
remember. That's what I was
Playing
asking.
in St.
yeah,
Edward's.
what? I can't come
And then
up
we
with
used
a
to,
name.
when we were in,
Because they met before I was in the
Go
picture.
afterward.
that was, oh, no,
I
yeah,
met
I know
Charlie
which one
in
you
the
mean.
bar.
Off of
Wayne was
Michigan
already in the
Avenue
bar,
and,
too.
well,
So
yeah.
I met them all
At
at
the same time.
I could take you there, but I can't tell you.
I'm
There
glad
was
to hear
one in,
somebody else met their husband in a bar. He doesn't like me telling them. He doesn't like me
Yeah.
telling that we
Hey,
met
at
in
that
Lone
time,
River.
you didn't meet
When we first started
anybody
playing,
unless
we
you
were
went
playing
to
in
the bar.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody went
Well,
to the
then
bar.
we moved over to
Because
Ford
it was,
Field.
it was after the ball games,
Played
and there
there
was
a
like
long year, a lot
4
of years.
teams, 5
Then we
teams.
went to
Yeah,
James
there
Field.
was a lot of
then we
teams,
went
and then
to,
everybody went, and it was
Junction,
fun.
what was the name of that? Michigan
Yeah.
Junction.
Not,
Across from Cadillac.
not rowdy,
That
but
was,
you know, you recognize
St.
the
Edwards.
people, and then you'd see
That's
them up on the
that-
weekend.
because these were both about the same. You know, we used to have to heat when we got, this gas on the wall.
Yeah.
We'd open up the oven, turn that on, and get the, it's old deer hunter's cabin. They sliced up the deer meat on the countertops. And both
Do
of
you
them
know
were about
when
the
they
same.
built them?
It's in the 50s.
50s? Okay.
Well, folks, if we can, I think what we're going to do is just maybe kind of close on a prayer.
Oh, that'll be nice.
And what we actually have is from what I understand, smoked fish was one of his
Things, yeah.
favorite
Oh,
things.
yeah, he liked it.
So we have a little bit of that today and some refreshment. And I know Christina worked on that a little bit. So, but let's just kind of go ahead and I'll kind of close this in a prayer. And when we're sharing, beverages and refreshments, we kind of reflect on some more of those memories. Dear Heavenly Father, I'd just like to thank you for this opportunity to come together with Wayne's family, his friends, and his neighbors. He was something special to each person here, whether it was a member of the ski club or fishing or family, or just being a good neighbor, a kind person, a generous one. We thank you for the life that he's lived. And Lord, I just pray that as we go on from here, whether we're passing the lake and we see a sailboat on it, or we're out skiing and just seeing the snowflakes fall, I just pray that we would think of Wayne and smile, remember him. It's just a precious thing, the way that you've revealed him to each person here in their own special way. I thank you for the time for them to come here and celebrate in his life. And may he never be forgotten. I pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Once again, thank you everybody, especially Mike and Deborah and Mitchell for making the long trip. I know that a lot to everybody here, but thank you. And do you need help moving anything, Christina, or can I?